Here's why I think it's very hard for millennials to date. And I feel like, of course, Gen X can definitely relate to this or people older. But I'm a 42-year-old millennial, and I feel as if technology really impact us hard, right? So we were like the last generation to like write letters to each other. A lot of us did not have cell phones until we were like teenagers or in college. I remember I had a pager up until I was 19. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 19 years old. And I remember having to write letters. Like that was a thing back in the day in the 90s. We wrote letters to each other. We would go and get Hello Kitty stationery, pick out pens, like our penmanship, like writing. Some of you will never have a love letter or never get a letter in the mail. Like that was the thing. And the value of people decreased as technology advanced. People started to feel like they're entitled to your energy. Also, answering machines, landline phones. There was days where people called me. I went to my answering machine and said, "Oh shoot, they called me 3 days ago." Today that would never happen. If you didn't call somebody in 3 days, they would probably block you. They would get upset because of how fast technology is. So, I feel like the lack of fast communication made you value people a lot more. Even there was times when in order for people to find you, they'd be like, okay, I know they hang out at the barbershop or that salon or that corner. Or sometimes they're at their best friend's house. So sometimes I could be at somebody else's house and they will pop up at that person's house looking for me. Or they will show up at your door looking for you. That just does not occur. Somebody pulls up to your house today, you're like, what the hell are you doing here? So just the value is gone, right? And with this, people actually think because they have people on social media at the tip of their fingers, people feel like they are confusing quantity with quality. Like, oh, it's okay. I don't gotta invest in her. She's playing games. She's not giving up the ass, or he's not giving up the money. Next, next, next. Do you know how long it's gonna take you to find quality? Also, back in the day, there was like a buddy system. Like we didn't like meet people online. We didn't meet people on Instagram. It didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist. Even when like Black Planet came around, it was like, you meeting somebody online? Are you crazy? Like back then, meeting people online still wasn't like the main method of meeting people. It was like something to do. I dated people who I knew. I dated people who I grew up with, who were from the neighborhood, who were from church, who were probably from another church. Today, people take more risk in meeting people on dating sites and meeting people off of social media, and they don't even know nobody. There's no 6 degrees of separation with this person at all. And I think that's why you're seeing more and more cases of like people ending up in walls and their head chopped off and their body parts all over the damn place, because you're taking a risk of meeting people who you don't know. And for some, it worked out. I know somebody who met their husband 20 years ago. They still together. They met on a Christian website. They're still together. But for a lot of us, how we view dating, how we view courting, how we view the value of people, most people today, no matter what their age is, because of fast communication, social media, they don't value people anymore. They don't even know, they can't even discern. I'm noticing that most men and women today can't even discern who's a good woman or man. They tricked me. They tricked me. Because you're not spending quality time with people, you can't even discern who is a genuine person or who's a demon. And that's something I have not lost. Thank God. And for me, the most abusive relationship I ever ended up in, and that was in my 20s, was a man that I met on a website many, many years ago. Okay. And the most genuine relationship I've had was somebody who I grew up around. I remember even back in the day, if you were dating a narcissist, they couldn't do but so much for you because it was such a buddy system. Like people, even men were different. Like, yo, you treat her wrong. Like I had such a good reputation that I had male friends, uncles, even exes who was like, yo, you treat her wrong, I'm whooping your ass. Men don't even do that anymore. It's very rare. Some of you have good men in your family, but you don't really see that anymore. Narcissists back then, they couldn't do but so much. Like I knew their mother, I knew their father, I knew their family. They was too scared to do but so much. So maybe we need to come up with a buddy system or introduce your friends to somebody who you know or somebody in your circle, or you might even have to end up dating a friend you grew up with, a friend you went to college with, somebody you know from the neighborhood. To me, I think that system is much safer than using the internet. You gotta understand, 20, 30 years ago, the internet not only made you be able to connect with people faster, but it also allowed sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, and demons to be able to get to you faster. Another thing I notice what people do, because of technology and social media, they don't even know how to communicate in person. Do you know how many times I've met other people in person and they could not hold a conversation? They can't hold a conversation on the phone. And these are people with college degrees, big people jobs. They cannot hold a conversation with a potential romantic partner or even friendship. They don't know what to do with a human person. And I do think we're going to see people like falling in love with ChatGPT or AI or whatever. They don't know how to communicate with a human person with blood and eyes and flesh. They don't. You know how many times a guy hollered at me online? I'm like, listen, I don't get to know nobody in my DM. You have to call me. Yeah, I'll call you. They never call. As soon as I say we have to have phone conversations, they ghost. Are y'all okay? What the hell is going on? So, those of us who know how to communicate, and on top of that, we know the value of a human being, of a genuine human being, we definitely are going to take much longer to connect with people. People cannot communicate. And then they're coming up with, oh, I got this and I got that. And that's why I can't communicate. They come in with all these diagnoses is why they can't communicate. No, you just can't communicate. And you're looking for the other person to do all the labor of communication or emotional work in the relationship. But yeah, technology was great, but it also screwed up people because now they do not know how to discern people's character. They no longer see the value in people, and they can't communicate in person. It's very scary out here. And I actually do miss back in the day when I wrote letters, when I had a pager, when I had a landline phone, because people value me. Even the guys like I grew up with, to this day, like when they see me, like, yo, you're just a fly woman, like you ill. They marry, friends I grew up with. Even the men that I almost married, there was some men who wanted to marry me in my 20s. I grew up around them. As marriage wasn't something I wanted, but I grew up around them. And two of those men never slept with me because they actually knew me, got to know me, and they saw the value in me besides coochie. And also, I feel as if women have made themselves free as well. So that's another topic. That's why it's hard for millennials to find love. The value is gone.